I had always loved the grocery store, a place where the shelves were lined with possibilities and where the promise of a delicious meal waited around every corner. But one fateful evening, my perception of this once familiar haven would forever change. It was a typical autumn night, the air crisp and leaves rustling underfoot as I made my way to the store. As I entered, the usual aroma of fresh produce and baked goods greeted me, and I began my leisurely stroll through the aisles. Little did I know that the grocery store was about to become a labyrinth of terror. As I roamed the store, I noticed an odd feeling settling in my chest. The lighting seemed dimmer, and an unsettling silence hung heavy in the air. Brushing off my unease, I continued my shopping, trying to focus on my list. But as I approached the end of one aisle, I caught a glimpse of something strange in the corner of my eye. A figure, shrouded in shadow, darted past the end of the aisle. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly turned to look, but there was no one there. I tried to convince myself it was just a trick of the light, but the uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach only intensified. I shook off my fear and continued, determined to finish my shopping. But with each passing moment, the store felt less familiar and more like a maze with no escape. The shelves seemed to stretch on forever, and I found myself retracing my steps, passing the same products again and again. The overhead lights flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Every sound, the creaking of carts, the faint hum of the freezer section, sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the store itself was alive, watching me, taunting me. As I rounded another corner, I saw the figure again, standing at the end of an aisle. This time I could make out more details: their tattered clothing, their hunched posture. It was a disheveled man, his face obscured by darkness. "Hello?" I called out tentatively, my voice echoing through the empty store. There was no response, just a chilling silence that enveloped me like a suffocating blanket. I decided it was time to leave, to escape this nightmare that the grocery store had become. But when I turned to head towards the exit, I found myself facing yet another aisle. Panic began to rise within me as I realized I was trapped, lost in a seemingly endless labyrinth of shelves. I tried to retrace my steps, but the layout of the store seemed to change with every turn. The aisles stretched on forever, twisting and contorting like a nightmarish puzzle. It was as if the store itself was toying with me, luring me deeper into its clutches. With each passing minute, my fear grew. The figure continued to appear, always just out of reach, watching me with haunting eyes. I could feel its malevolence, its hunger for my fear. It was as if the grocery store had become a living entity, a malevolent force determined to keep me trapped within its walls. As I wandered aimlessly, my hope of escape dwindled. I was lost in a nightmarish abyss with no way out. The store's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, their flickering intensifying my growing sense of dread. Time lost all meaning, and the store became a timeless void of terror. Exhaustion weighed me down, but I dared not rest, fearing what horrors might await me if I closed my eyes even for a moment. Then, just when I thought all hope was lost, a faint glimmer of light caught my eye. It was the exit, the way out. With renewed determination, I rushed towards it, pushing aside shelves that seemed to claw at me. As I reached the exit, the figure appeared one last time, blocking my path. Its eyes glowed with malevolence, and its twisted smile sent chills down my spine. "Leave this place," it whispered, its voice a haunting echo. "You do not belong here." With a burst of adrenaline, I pushed past the figure and burst through the doors, the cool night air washing over me like a wave of relief. I stumbled into the parking lot, my heart pounding in my chest. The grocery store loomed behind me, silent and dark. But it was no longer the haven I once knew. It was a place of nightmares, a place that had shown me the true meaning of terror. I will never forget that night, the night the grocery store became a house of horrors. Now, every time I pass by the familiar building, I feel a chill run down my spine. I know that evil lurks within those walls, waiting to ensnare another unsuspecting soul. And I can only hope that no one else will experience the terror that I did that fateful autumn evening.